All right, hey people, today is November 9th, 2024. This is Chris Lucas. This is my show, The Protestant View. This is just a test stream because I just got a warning. And look, I'll even prove it. For people that might have, yeah, you didn't see my video because I just broadcasted on Rumble because I assumed I was banned here. So, as you can see up on my screen, I do have it says medical misinformation. And all it was me reading a Bloomberg article. You know, like right here, this is all I read. This right here, that's all I read, right? So I think that's crazy. That's all I read. I'm not allowed to read from news articles anymore. I mean, that's just real crazy. So I'm so done, man, with YouTube and everything. You know, I mean, I really didn't do anything wrong. I think it was one of I think it was a decent video, but I'll try to do better. But now I don't even know how I can, like, I can't even do response videos. Like, I got to be real careful, I guess, when I redo this one because I'll redo it now that I know I can still make them, and I'll just be more careful. But yeah, I mean, I don't think what I said was anything that should have got me banned, though. I mean, if I got proof that the president of the United States actually did talk about, like, I played all my proof, right? Like, everything he did, this was proof, right? Because I go, oh, it looks like Donald Trump
totally in favor
had this, was going to do this, because right here we got him in the 2015 primary, right here, Republican primary, 2015 Republican primary, right off of CBS. Is this misinformation?
I'm totally in favor of vaccines, but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time.
See, you want smaller doses over a longer period of time. Have you ever heard someone say that in 2015? And all I did was just share that with people. Hey, Donald Trump, he said he wants smaller doses over a longer period of time. Then I'm not going to read that Bloomberg article again because, oh my gosh, I know better than that now. But then I just read that article, right? See? And this was in 2017, right? March 2017. Right? I mean, I'm just reading this. This is all I'm reading. That's it. Right? I'm like, okay, he says that weird statement. He's meeting with Bill Gates. Maybe it's because I said the word Bill Gates, and maybe the censors pick it up and they go, "Oh, Bill Gates," and then he mentioned the V word, right? But I mean, I don't know if I mentioned the V word, but maybe somehow the AI or whatever did it. I have no idea, or maybe some person just flagged it, you know. But I just thought this was weird because, you know, Donald Trump is said to have said this, right? Like, that to me is a weird statement. So you make that really weird statement during the primer. We never saw a vaccine like that, right? See, it's not that I can't back up my words. I'm not allowed to even. I mean, really, I can't read Bloomberg articles. Like, this isn't even coming off of conspiracy paper, what you would call a conspiracy, or some website that's not, I guess, government approved speech. It's like, I thought you were supposed to fix this, Donald Trump. This happened under you, Donald Trump, the first time you were around. I thought we were supposed to have free speech. You know? Prove this causes damage. You know? It didn't do nothing to anyone. You know? I mean, I don't... I'm real frustrated, right? You know, because we got Ivanka admitting this. I mean, I played all kinds of proof. There was just like no reason for me to get that. I mean, how careful do I got to be? You know, I mean, I'm getting this off of PubMed. I guess PubMed's telling me things. You know, am I not allowed to even read a article from a medical journal and things like that? I mean, where does it stop at? You know, I played a clip of Democrats talking one time, you know, about their thoughts about the coronavirus. And this is like Nancy Pelosi and everything. And I'm just playing what they said prior to Trump doing the ban. And just playing them saying, oh, come out to Mardi Gras, it's no big deal. And they were saying all this stuff, right? I'm not allowed to say that because they were making light of it. But I'm playing their words, these government officials' words. These came out of government officials' mouths, right? And I'm explaining to people why I'm kind of confused, right? Because I thought the excuse was that they're pressuring Donald Trump, and they're obviously not, right? When they're saying, oh, he's just being a xenophobe when he's talking about shutting everything down. He's a xenophobe. He doesn't like immigrants, right? And I'm playing all this stuff, right, for people to hear with their own ears. Remember, they were not crying about. They were not the Democrats were not the ones. It was all Trump. I show you all these clips. Trump was the one that wanted this vaccine the whole time. He's been looking forward to it since the 2015 primary. The Democrats, I play those clips of them talking, and I would play it, but I know that would get flagged because because of what they're saying. It's so similar to everything that would violate the COVID guidelines of what I can play on YouTube. It's stupid, man. So, I mean, that's it. You know, I can't really talk about much more. Can't play much more. Do much more. You know, just I do have. If you go to my YouTube channel, I never hardly talk about. You know, I should put all my Rumble clips. I always keep thinking people are gonna be, you know, diligent enough to search for truth on their own. But if you go to my home page, right here, you go to Protestant View. All you gotta do is click these links right here. And I have my Buy Me a Coffee if you want to support me. I also have my Rumble, and I have my Odyssey link. My Odyssey's got a lot of my old videos from my Liquid Smooth channel when I made back all the way in 2004. And I got a lot of my old stuff on here, and it got erratic because I'm working 70 hours a week, and I cannot transfer all my videos to these alternate platforms. And at this time, I'm also getting banned from alternate platforms because I was on brand new Tube for a while. I had 10,000 live viewers, for various shows, right? And brand new Tube basically bans me, right? And it was kind of like an overseas version of YouTube, somewhere in Europe. They got like their own sort of YouTube, and everyone thought, oh my gosh, they're letting all these doctors and people speak. But my show getting 10,000 views, you'd think they'd allow my show to keep broadcasting if I'm getting decent numbers. And it's like, oh, I got banned. I can't hardly get my show going. And I was one of the few people doing live shows over there. So, yes, I was one of the few people. Maybe there was just nothing else to listen to. Maybe that's the only reason why I had 10,000. Who knows? But I even paid for the service. And I still couldn't broadcast half the time. It wasn't reliable. It's like, oh, well, and if I uploaded a video, it'd say, well, we're trying to approve your content. So, and it'd be like a week later, they still haven't approved it. A month later, they still hadn't approved it. And the only way I could get content uploaded was when I did a live show. But it's like, I had to keep hitting the live button over and over again, over and over and over and over. And then it's like I could just randomly get in. And I think what it was they just didn't want me doing a live show. That's what I really think. So I think that's it. Oh, hey, I guess people are up. Yeah, Adrian, I was kind of surprised. You said great. You jumped from Rumble to here quickly. Yeah, I thought I was banned because normally when I get a strike or a warning, I always got banned for like a week or two. And in fact, this was like a really weird. I don't know. It's really weird because I thought I still had strikes and everything on this channel. I don't know what happened. Because I showed you that I got showed earlier. I have 20 videos that are striked. If anyone caught that Rumble channel, yeah, man, it's a lot of hoops, man. I had no idea. Oh yeah, thanks, King James. You say my audio is fine. YouTube's designed to annoy everyone, it seems. Um. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm allowed to say anymore. I might have to just for a while stick to pretty much Christian, just reading the Bible. I mean, but I always think this stuff relates to the Bible. I think it relates to end times to talk about it because I mean, this is going to lead to those systems. Like when people can't talk freely anymore, that's what causes these systems to arise. And it's hard for me to hold my tongue because I had family that came over here from Europe back in the 1600s. And, they risked their lives, to come over here and to found this nation and fought in all the wars. And most of the wars, at least up until World War II. So it's like we fought in all the major wars, Civil War, all that stuff, and it's like to just suddenly just go, oh, I'm gonna be the wuss of the family and not talk about this and just lay down for the government. It seems horrible. And I think I should be able to talk, and I think by not talking, by silencing people, it's just a few steps away from, if you believe that mark of the beast stuff is a future prophecy about ready to come, then we're just a few steps away from it. It would look like, either way, whether people want to say it's been all fulfilled or not, I know one thing is this stuff that's going on in the world doesn't look right. And I don't see how anyone thinks it's getting better. I don't see people waking up. I see people being more delusional, and JP was a proof of that. That show the other day. You know what? I don't mind. Did you guys hear? I mean, King James, did you hear what JP said? Because it's like, I think this is like so crazy that he takes. I'll play this a little bit.
Watch this before drinking plant-based milks.
Oat milk
Man, he's
latte.
got a lot of
Protein
ads.
at almost exactly what the antidote was. It is perfectly normal for someone to brag about that antidote if the person that was above him.
And I don't know, you know what? When I was reading that YouTube
Watch this.
I can't believe every time I set it to a new spot, will it actually stay there now? But, okay, so when it's in the last video I did just like a few minutes ago on Just Rumble, I go through the YouTube guidelines, right? Because it says now there's this YouTube policy training. And one of the examples that they said was okay was two doctors talking about COVID. And one doctor says one thing, and the other doctor contradicts that doctor, but the doctor that's doing the contradicting, he's agreeing with the World Health Organization. And they said, oh, that video is allowable because at least you have one doctor that's being backed by the World Health Organization, so he's contradicting the other doctor. Okay, so I play a video where this guy, JP, is representing the World Health Organization, right? And he's saying everything's good and fine, I guess, basically, because he's defending Trump, and I'm just countering it. That's all I'm doing. Am I allowed to do that? I mean, it seems like that was all I was doing, so that video shouldn't have violated the policy off of that. But anyway, let's hear what happens.
These things, Marcus Rogers is not wrong. Marcus Rogers could have put a statue of, I should say, a costume of the Statue of Liberty and walked outside. Let me guess, some of you guys are going to say the Statue of Liberty is pagan, right? Exposed, Statue of Liberty is pagan. Brother, how about you come in here so I could cook you real quick, brother? You've been running your mouth, brother, and I've been wanting to humble you, brother. Come in real quick, brother. I lost my temper with you. Come in real quick, tough guy. Come in real quick. Come in real quick. You got 1 minute to come in. If not, I'm kicking you out of here. You got 1 minute. You've been running your mouth too much, brother. 1 minute. 1 minute. Step up. You run your mouth all the time, my brother. I have no love for you, brother. I love you in a general sense as a Christian man, but in regard to your politics and the way you've been running your mouth, come in here now. Come in here. I have no love for your stance. So come in here real quick. Mod, he has 1 minute. If not, get him out of here. He has 1 minute. 1 minute, because he's spreading a bunch of propaganda. He has 1 minute.
Now, I blew up the screen. You got to read everything I was saying. I backed it up. Was that propaganda? Like in that show I did earlier, I played all the clips. I read all these articles, right? I mean, here he is. He's talking to Bill Gates. And if I read this whole article, which that got me banned from YouTube just reading it, but I'm showing you all this stuff. Yes, Trump said this stuff, right? This is what I'm saying in his chat. This is why you see he's an idiot because he doesn't read. He doesn't bother to read news sources, and he cannot critically think the information out. Right? He can't critically think and go, oh wait, this and this it equals this. He can't. His brain doesn't do that, and he's lazy because all you had to do was read this stuff. How do you come to his conclusions if you just would read things? Well, see, he obviously didn't. He kind of ratted himself out because he said, I'm propaganda. Then you're saying Bloomberg's propaganda. You're saying all of reality's propaganda. Reality in of itself is propaganda, right? It's just like this guy doesn't even know what the word propaganda is. And what it really is he's a snake, and he calls good evil and evil good because that's what Satan does. And the Bible tells you don't do that. Right? So you call something that's propaganda that's not propaganda. I mean, really, do I got the word propaganda wrong? Let me look this up. What is propaganda? Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I forgot what propaganda meant. Man, let's make sure we got a real clear information, especially of a bias or misleading nature, used to promote a particular cause, doctrine, or point of view. He was charged with distributing enemy propaganda, the dissemination of propaganda as a political strategy. I don't know what what was I doing that with? I don't even understand what he meant by propaganda. I really don't. I mean, I guess if, like, let's say the enemy is truth, he might think the enemy is truth. And so maybe, since it said, like, right here's one of the examples, he was charged with distributing enemy propaganda. So maybe propaganda to him is like I'm very biased. I just want to get truth out. But it wasn't a misleading nature, though. So that's where he's wrong. Unless you say it's misleading to lead people to the truth. But then now you sound like a satanic snake, right? If you're saying it's misleading, like people's nature should be liars and we should all be Satanists. So now I'm misleading people by telling them the truth and just telling them facts. Right? So, I mean, that's all I was saying. So, I had guests on my show, last week, a guest that was the lawyer behind all this stuff, right? The biggest story, like, a lot of newspapers said this is one of the biggest story no one's talking about. I had that guest, Jared Beck, on my show, a guy that's actually talked to Donald Trump. It's like, what kind of people does JP talk to? Like low IQ morons that actually can be entertained by his nonsense? It's like, no, I'm sharing facts. I'm sharing hard research. I'm sharing research that these other people probably didn't do. I'm reading from a government website. That's presidency.ussb.edu. This is a government website. I'm not reading from, and this is, he said that was propaganda. He goes, that's propaganda. It's like, dude, do you even know? See, look at this right here. He's calling this propaganda. Yeah. See, I was talking about, then goes and signs the Vaccine Modernization Act right before COVID hit. Okay, is that what he did? Is this before COVID hit? Is September 19th, 2019 before COVID hit? Yes, it is. He's an utter moron. Why do people listen to him? The people you beat in debates are just morons. Because they must be believing something way dumber than what you're believing. And I was at work, so I couldn't hop on, right? I couldn't hop on that very minute. But I took the time out to call. And then when I take out the time to call, I'll make another video.
Look who it is. It's the Kamala lover.
No, I don't like Kamala. Why do you just assume that just because I don't like Trump?
So then why are you manifesting like a demon? Trump won. So what's the issue?
Okay, hold on. He just said I'm manifesting like a demon. I'm naming things that happened during Trump's presidency that I have clear proof of. Now, see, he's calling it's demonic. It's demonic if I say Trump signed the Vaccine Modernization Act. And he's going, that's demonic. You're demonic. You're manifesting like a demon to say that. To say a fact, JP? Who's a demon? Do you see how wicked and demonic he is? I said he did do this. The government website says it. He's saying that this is manifesting like a demon? Really? I'm just naming off things he did, JP. I'm sorry that you must have just had your head jammed up your own behind the whole time, thinking you are just something so special and just living in some different reality than all of us are living in and just too dumb to figure it out. JP, don't think that you're so great and so smart that you're the one that can figure this out so fast. And everyone else, if I figured it out and you haven't figured it out yet, I must be the conspiracy theory because no one can be smarter than you. No one can figure out something faster than you. You're just so smart, aren't you? No one else can figure it. You got to be the one that figures it out first. And the fact that I figured it out, and it's 5 years later, and you still can't figure it out. Oh, manifesting like, but I mean, is he really slow or is he demonic? Like, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time understanding if he's really this slow or if he's demonic. And this is a serious question. Why are you saying I'm manifesting like a demon when I'm naming off facts and showing facts? And if he would have gave me a chance instead of just muting my mic, here's the thing. He challenges me. He's like, come up here. I'm going to cook you. Okay, so your ideal of getting in a debate and cooking someone is having someone get up there, you let them speak, you don't even let them finish their sentence, mutes me, talks about 1,000% of the time, gives me like 10 seconds to speak, and then puts me on mute again, not let me finish my thought or my question or my sentence, right? And then puts me on mute, says a bunch of things, and then kicks me off the stream. And he thinks he's some kind of cook champion. That's his ideal of debate, right? And he can like, you have to be like some low IQ moron to even think that's debating someone. It's just stupid. And I also mentioned these antibody tests, right? And I put up proof on here. I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned that, and he goes, that's manifesting like a demon. Trump really did say this. Look, he really said this. That's from The Hill. He really said this. JP's like, oh, you're manifesting like a demon. I mentioned that too. I'm not going to read that one, but I mentioned that too, because that's what got me banned. So I mentioned that one too. And I mean, but I have proof, right? I have all proof. How's that? But that's manifesting like a demon, according to JP. I mean, I mentioned this, right? This is manifesting like a demon, according to him.
I am totally in favor of vaccines, but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time.
See, I mentioned that. The Republican primary of 2015, that was one of the things I mentioned. If we go back, I probably can't scroll that far back. I showed it earlier though in those comments. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go back far enough. But yeah, that's another thing I mentioned. Is that manifesting like a demon that I mentioned that Trump said that during the 2015 primary? Manifesting like a demon, according to him. So this guy is guilty of going against the Bible when God commands you, don't call evil good and good evil. And he's doing that.
Why are you manifesting like a demon? Trump won.
Well, first of all, I don't like the fact that my sister is probably dead because of his vaccine, right? Because she couldn't get treatment. No, she was not allowed to.
Okay, so slow down. Let's not make this personalized. Donald Trump made it clear that there were alternatives to the.
Wait a minute. Let's not make this personalized, but isn't that what he did earlier with the way he called me a propagandist and all that? Sounds like he took something personal when I wasn't saying a word of propaganda. You are the one who took it personal, aren't you? See, the dude's a demon.
Vaccine. He was put in a no good situation by his advisors, such as Dr. Fauci. So don't get mad at Trump, get mad at Dr. Fauci. He was the person that was, Dr. Fauci was the one that was in charge of all of these things. He was the one that advised Donald Trump to do what he did. And Donald Trump was in a no good solution position, because had he not given the vaccine and people died, he would have been wrong. Had he given people the vaccine, he would have still been wrong. He did give the vaccine.
But see, I was trying to say, but he kept cutting me off. So I never got to say this on his show. I said, I was trying to get people to rally and make Donald Trump right into warp speed, that it was experimental and could never be mandated. I wanted that wrote into warp speed, or before he renews the emergency order, which he has to do every 90 days. I wanted people to say, Trump, why don't you create some legislation and have that legislation say that vaccines can never be mandated. No one can ever lose their job for not taking them. And especially, any kind of new medical treatments, if they're brand new and they haven't been out in 10 years, for at least 10 years, no one can be forced to take them in any way, shape, or form. Something like that, right? I think it should be more than 10 years. It should be like no one should ever be forced. But come on now. This is something that even Donald Trump, out of his own mouth, says this took 9 months to make. And they were testing it on people after, it looked like, according to Moderna's timeline, 17 days. Because if you read these studies, it looks like they ran human and animal trials parallel to each other, right? And I brought that up on past shows. I'm not going to get too deep into that because I don't even know what I can get banned for now. But these parallel studies that you don't do that with a medical product. And there's a show where I ask AI all these questions, and you'll see like this robot and it has like a hammer in its hand. And if you look for that video on Rumble, I don't think it's on YouTube, but if you look for it on Rumble, it's going to be this robot and it's got like a mallet in its hand, right? And if you go to like the last hour of that video, I'm talking to that robot specifically about this. And there's also another video where I'm talking to AI and I don't remember what the thumbnail looks like or what the video is called. But I go and talk to AI for almost 3 hours about this. And I go deep into it. Everything about this, man. And you can watch the AI say what you would normally do in this situation, and what Moderna and Pfizer got away with in this situation. It's pretty astounding. But anyway,
he would have still been wrong because Dr. Fauci was the one that was above him. So he gave alternatives. There were pills that.
Okay, so he's gonna say that Trump was trying to give alternatives. You couldn't give them because in order to write anything, any kind of like recommendation that we approve to use this for COVID. Once you say anything can be used for COVID, emergency use authorization to approve a vaccine that has only been tested for 9 months would not be allowable. I can't remember all the wording of the whole law of that goes around that. It's been a while since I studied it, but if you say anything about it, like if I go ivermectin, I don't want to say that whole word, but if I go the I word, right, or if I say the hydroxy, I can't say all that word either, right, for just this video's sake. But if I say the hydroxy and then finish the rest of the sentence, the word, or the iver, finish the rest of that word. If I say those two things can be, if the government was to say those things can be used, then you no longer could you have emergency use authorization for something that was like that flew through testing so quickly. See, because the whole point about the emergency use authorization is that it's an emergency. I know we normally take 5 to 10 years to do this, but it's an emergency. We need to approve it now. And because you go, and the reason why you can approve it now is because there's nothing else to treat it with. There's no treatments whatsoever. That's why they were hitting you so hard, because if they had any kind of treatment, anything that could alleviate it, and they would lose emergency use authorization. So that's where he's saying some dumb things. He didn't study this, right? Because he's saying, Trump said that you could use it. No. He never said. You heard him say that, but he would never push for the legislation that would actually allow it. But he's going to say, well, he was listening to Fauci. Okay, check this out. do you guys ever remember doctors that were against Fauci during 2020? Like early on, I know doctors even in April of 2020 that, were saying, look, this isn't right. We've got this data and we should not be locking down. And now remember, people were like, we want the lockdowns ended. And they started to demand that certain doctors debate, like Fauci debate certain doctors. Right. But whenever I would try to get in Trump groups and say, hey, let's have a rally and we need to make Trump do this. The people who lead these Trump groups, these big Trump groups, they would say, no, shut up, you Democrat. I'm like, I'm not even a Democrat. I'm a Republican. They're like, shut up. Shut up. Trump's playing 3D chess or 4D chess. Shut up. He knows what he's doing. It's like, and he did the same thing this guy's doing, where this guy gets all upset and worked up. And it's like, dude, can you just let me talk? Like, yes, I made these statements, but before you call it propaganda and sound real stupid, why don't you let me back it up by showing the proof? Right? Like, I sometimes people come on my show and say something stupid, right? And I'm like, well, just show me the proof. I don't call them stupid automatically. I go, no, show me the proof. Maybe I am wrong, right? That's the safer way to handle a show. And I know I have studied this so often that sometimes and now there has been a couple of times where I'm like, oh, this is really stupid. And what it is it's to anger a person, because I want you to show me it. Come on my show and show me it. I'm trying to stoke something out of you, because I actually think you are lying at this point, right? Because there's certain things I have researched so much. So yes, I have said things to people before, but I have also invited them to come on my show and show me the proof. I also said, hey, if you got the links, let me see them. Oh, you don't want to come on my show? Just click the link to come on my show, and you don't have to show your face. You don't have to talk, but you can drop all the links that you want my audience to see. And you can drop those in my private chat, and then I'll copy and paste those links and throw them into my channel. Right? I allow people to do that. This guy, he banned me from commenting. After he boots me off his show, he then bans me so I can't even comment in his chat. So I can't defend myself. Doesn't even give me a chance.
That he was telling people to take, that the media said not to take, and now it has been proven that the pill actually helps people who contracted that virus.
See, the whole problem is Trump could have had Fauci debate other doctors and see who's right, and let the whole public listen to it. And then afterwards, if Trump's, like, let's say that Fauci really handles that person or holds his ground, that at least gives Trump, like, look, I let these other guys talk. I let Fauci debate several of the guys you pick. And I feel like Fauci's still smarter sounding, because Fauci said this and this other guy said this. And then Trump could actually make it seem like he listened to both sides. When you go to a doctor and some doctor tells you have 2 months to live, are you just going to listen to that doctor? Or are you going to get a second opinion, right? You always get a second opinion. And I've heard some people, like this doctor, say, oh, you're totally fine. And someone's like, man, I really think there's something wrong. They go to another doctor, and that doctor's like, oh, whoa. You got this wrong with you. And he missed this on this exam. And they saved his life because they rushed this person to the operating and did this operation, saved their life. They got a second opinion. People can be wrong. That's why it's like, even when you study the Bible, you study it with a group. Because one person could get it wrong, but you got all eyes on it. And if you got 3 or 4 people all agreeing on the same thing, you might all be looking at something the correct way, right? Especially if you keep asking more and more people, and it's harder, to find like a reason to not believe it.
So miss me with that garbage. Miss me with that garbage, brother. With the whole Trump propaganda thing.
See, still calling it, but that's not Trump propaganda, man. You're Trump propaganda.
Sorry your sister passed away. No need to make this personal. But what I am saying is that you're trying to project on Trump and blame this on Trump. It wasn't Trump's fault.
It's your fault. It's people like you. I'm blaming people like you, buddy. You, because you won't let us talk. I have proof of things, right? Even just the little bit I said in the chat, I got proof. I got antibody tests I can show you. Antibody test results showing you that 80,000 more people had it instead of the 1,000 that they originally thought in this one I think it was Santa Clara County. I can't remember the exact spot in California where they did this testing, right? But they did this testing in this population, and they thought only 1,000 people had it, and they were saying, well, the death rate's at least 5%, or they were saying like, the death rate's high. I think they were saying like 5 out of 1,000 were dying, or 10 out of 1,000 were dying. They might have said something like 10 out of 1,000 were dying, or something like that. But then they found out, oh, well, when we gave the population antibody test, we found out that actually 80,000 people had it. Because remember, they used to tell you don't come to the hospital unless you're extremely sick, right? And so only the sickest people would come to the hospital. Then they would put them on ventilators and other things, right? And then some of them were not even given treatments because he said there are no treatments. And anything you give them is not a treatment because there is no treatment. So there is no treatment to give them. That's why we got to come out with a vaccine. There are no treatments. So people are like, well, what do I do? Can I at least have some vitamin C? No, there are no treatments. Vitamin C, vitamin D, that's all medical misinformation. There are no treatments. Remember when you could go and you'd type on Facebook and you'd have like these medical professionals on there during COVID. And I'd ask them, I said, why aren't you at least recommending people take more vitamin D? I said, because I was reading this thing that said that like, what was it? 60% of the population, 40% of the population's vitamin D deficient. And yet we know vitamin D helps the immune system. Why don't we recommend people take vitamin D and zinc, and it's like, well, no, we can't do that. And I was like, well, why can't you do that? Because they were like, there is no cure. There's nothing you can do for COVID. That's why we got to come up with a vaccine. They see they were towing the line because that's the only way you can have medical emergency use authorization for it. So they all had to toe that line. So this guy, when he goes, oh, just miss me with that propaganda. And dude, you missed everything.
Locked down and made that decision. Why couldn't Trump make the same sorts of decisions?
The reason that Trump,
he doesn't even let me get a whole sentence out. He's got me all muted while I'm trying to talk. And then he's acting like, oh, I'm going to give you an answer. Well, you didn't even answer my question because you had me muted. You didn't let me finish it, and I don't even know that he's muting me.
Trump locked down, the reason that Trump locked things down was because he was advised to lock things down, because they were saying that this said virus was going to kill everybody. So his health advisors told him that. So he followed the advice of his health advisors. That is why. Okay. Yeah, let me.
And see, he doesn't let me talk anymore. Wouldn't let me answer. And I tried to even complain in the background in his private chat. Wouldn't let me answer. And he's just like, okay, so I told you what's up, and now you know. And it's like, well, no, don't even give me all that nice stuff, dude. You're not being nice. What, just quit it, man. You can't. You're the one who talked all this big talk, and you don't want to have a sensible conversation. You don't even want to have an intelligent conversation. You want to have one-sided, like, oh, I just want you to come up on here so I can pretend like I just told you. And you had no answer, but you had my mic muted, so I couldn't answer. It's like, that's just some punk stuff, dude. Why don't I tie your hands behind your back and I kick you in the face? And, oh, JP can't fight. JP, pow, man. Just sock him up on the face. I thought you could fight. Tough guy. Boom, man. Elbow him, man. It's like slam my elbow. Dude, come on, fight, man. I thought you were a tough guy. See, this dude makes me sick, dude. It's like, you don't tie someone's hands behind, you don't challenge someone to a fight and like, okay, guys, tie his hands behind his back. I'm going to show you how tough I am. It's like, dude, you know you're a wuss. You're just a wuss, dude. That's so punk. And he acts like he came from the hood. Really? I mean, you came from some kind of hood where everyone's a wuss, dude. And that's not tough to do that to people. You're no tough guy. But yeah, Adrian, you don't have to worry about this stuff, man. Like, I know how to talk, dude. It's like, what it is if you expose Trump a little too hard, YouTube freaks out sometimes. So I mean, I got to be careful because they're trying to protect him. See, that's another thing. This guy, he's probably being dumb enough to think that, oh, YouTube doesn't like Trump, so YouTube's gonna attack anyone, is attacking anyone that tries to support Trump. No, it's the opposite way around. I try to go after Trump, and every time I go after Trump, I get banned. So you would think that if we lived in some kind of like rational world where people actually hated Trump, they would be like, oh yeah, we love what you're saying, Chris. You hate Trump and you're bringing up all this good information about him. And you're even confirming it with articles. It's like, this commentary, I do realize that this commentary won't be on the original. Yeah, it's kind of a repeat a little bit, man. I mean, there's some different commentary because I want something to be up on YouTube where I cover this. I don't know. Maybe I should, since I did just put test video, I should probably just end it here. Restart up another stream and just make it straight up about JP and just answer him real quick in a very delicate way, where I'm very delicate about how I answer him, and leave it at that. Because I plan on having him listen through the test stream part. So you guys might not want to put yourself through this. I think what I'll do is I'll start up another video in this stream, start up another video, and just address him in a very quick way. Flash up a couple of things on the screen, explain why I'm doing it, and let that be it.